Welcome to the Daily WIP, the show where we discover brands are becoming media companies. On the show today, we're talking about the death of advertising. The death of advertising. Well, advertising is not completely dead, but in general, it is dead when you think about video. There are ways of doing pre-rolls on YouTube, the 6-second adverts coming out on Facebook. You can still advertise on TV if you want. There's all sorts of other ways of doing video advertising. But more and more, you know the audience just doesn't want it. You know it's trying to angle its way in and get attention when people are putting their attention somewhere else. And that almost people are building up a resentment towards the advert. And the conversion rates are just so low. I mean, even to the point that you're not even sure if people are watching it or machines, robots are watching it. It's really weird. So if you think about video advertising and then you compare it to video content, and then you go, well, video content, that's interesting. Instead of it being an advertisement for a product or a brand, it's talking about maybe it's talking about problem solving, or it's talking about themes, or it's entertainment, or it's funny, or it's sad, or it's any of it. It's event based. But the key differentiator between like proper content and content that's like short form video advertising is that the content has people's attention and people watch it and they give you the attention all the way through and they're cognitively involved in it, and they have image recognition of what's in it, and they're building up a subconscious like for it, and they're building up habits to keep watching more of it, and they want more of it. And so if you think about if you were a brand and you were investing heavily in video advertising with your conversion rate of 0.3% or 0.03% of viewership through to anything, and then you think about content and the organic build of content. So it doesn't you don't just make a video and all of a sudden you've got 100,000 people loving it, but the slow build of a real audience where you have their actual attention all the way through, and you're creating brand recognition, and you're creating desire, and you're creating all these other things, other emotional connections to you, and habits underneath it. You go, why wouldn't you want that versus having to cram 1.5 seconds in front of someone because they're trying to watch something else? And so it's really I just go, it really is the death of video advertising. It really is that nobody wants that anymore. Imagine, for example, I think there's a brand in New Zealand years ago called Anchor that did this. They used the advertising space to create an episodical show about the Anchor family. So Anchor is a dairy product. It has milk and butter and cheese, I think. And they had the Anchor family, and so it was about this girl who was growing up, and I think she was going off to university. And it was in every ad break, there was another like 30-second episode of this thing. And, this was maybe 20 years ago or something. And that to me is just amazing. Like they've taken the advertising space and filled it up with entertainment. And then around it, they've just put the brand. They're called the Anchor family, for God's sake. To me, that is awesome. It's really clever use of space. It's using actual storytelling and emotional storytelling so that you're with people, and that is what brands are. Some of them are doing online, and many more should be trying a lot harder at doing, is creating that longer format connection with the audience where you're actually getting the attention. You're not having to fight for a split second of your attention that you might hopefully remember the brand. You're getting their real attention. So the takeaway from this video, if you can see it, is video advertising, sure, carry on with some of it if you like, to get a little bit of more awareness for what you're doing, but really invest deep and heavy in episodical, repetitive content that's coming out the door, that's capturing people's actual attention, where they want to spend time with you. And then from there, they will then potentially want to spend more than their time with you. All right, see you tomorrow.